So Rosie and I are headed to the Kettle Moraine, a Wisconsin state forest in southeastern Wisconsin. And this is her 5th lesson, and we will be doing off-leash there. This is her 5th and final this is actually a 4.5 hour visit. I allow the extra half hour for driving time, but our goal is to get this cute little dog, this puppy, listening off-leash out in the wild, and that's what we'll be doing. However, none of these videos will be getting posted today, Saturday, August 4th, because I won't have reception. Usually I would try to post them after I get home, but I have game afternoon with my godson, my nephew, and we are going to be busy, so I will be posting all of these Sunday, tomorrow, the 5th of August. So we are here. It's 7:30 in the morning, and the place is already, the parking lot is really packed. But, oh well. Come here, baby. Good girl, good girl. Rosie and I are about to start. Good girl. Stay. Stay. And we'll see how she does today. How do you all think she's going to do today? It's going to be pretty crowded. I prefer doing this on weekdays, but we can only do this on a weekend with Sarah and Rosie. So that's what we're doing. Okay. So as most people know on this lesson, the 5th lesson for Rosie, when I start working in these areas, a lot of runners, a lot of hikers today. So a lot of dogs today too. We just started, so I mean, we're only about 1/8 of a mile into this 7-mile trek. I like to start on leash just to kind of see how it's going to react. And look at her, she's walking this completely loose leash. So very happy with that. We're building her up to me having the confidence in her, and her having the confidence to do this off leash. Sit. So what we'll do, good girl, he's a woojie woojie woosh. So what we're going to do is stay, just throw a few commands. Stay, good girl, nope, stay. Looks like the owner's been going to the down command too quickly, too often. Stay. We'll have to talk to Sarah about that. Good girl. So you could see she was anticipating a down command, so I will purposely not do a down command. I'll do it now. Down. Down. Okay, stay. So if you always follow sit with a down, the dog will start to learn that the sit is always followed by a down. They'll start to anticipate it. Also, if you don't make your stays long enough, they'll anticipate it. So by not doing a down, I'm kind of breaking that routine. One time will not break that routine, but that's something we're going to focus a little bit on today. But also, by making her go down from a standing walking position, it kind of switches things up. So when you're training a dog, you want to switch it up. You want to challenge them. You want to force them to think instead of going into autopilot. Girl. Good girl.
Who was putting the cover on the pool last night?
Hey guys.
Hey, morning.
Morning. Okay, so 2 things I've noticed with her. So Rosie has trouble with runners. She doesn't know what they're up to. She's suspicious of them. She handled those 2 really well, but we've already handled like a pack of 4 boys. We'll call them a pack. They're all like teens, probably practicing cross country or something like that. They ran, and then we had a pack of 4, women. They were probably in their 20s, and they came up from behind her. So things coming up behind her, especially when they're running, very, very nervous. Now those 2 people came up behind us, but they were walking. I had her in a sit stay. She handled it fine. So that's why we're doing the walking now. So when those 2 runners, she handled well, but they were coming towards us. So when you're training a dog, you're constantly looking for where the dog's problems are. The mistake most people make is they avoid problems. They put the dog up when company come over. They do all these things, which means you're not solving the problem, you're avoiding the problem, which means the problem will never go away, and it'll probably actually get worse because you're not facing it. So that's what kind of training is also about, especially when you get the dog better and better trained, is you are looking for what she needs work on. Working what she can do is kind of not helpful. You look at, people coming up behind her and runners from either direction, but definitely from behind her. Every time I get a chance, I'm going to do that. Doesn't mean I'm always going to have the phone in my hand, but I am going to do a lot of that today. Okay, so we might do this one and maybe one other of on leash before we start transitioning to the leash dragging, which is actually a safety precaution. Leash dragging just means that if she was to take off it'll be easier to catch her, especially since the leash might tangle up on these branches and stuff like that. Sit, stay, good girl, stay. So I'm not going to walk in front of her because she's so used to me walking, somebody, not me, but her owners and everything, going to the next command from in front of her. Stay. Now, notice before I moved, I said stay, stay. She can't read my mind. She does not know what I'm going to do. Now, in this case, I'll tell her to go down. If she turns towards me, as long as her butt stays on the ground, it'll be acceptable. Down. In fact, I actually prefer it because it means she wants to focus on me. Stay, stay. Now, see how every time I do something, I think, how will this affect the dog? She's just seeing if more runners are coming up from behind her. How is this going to affect the dog? Stay. So, you see how I said stay as I moved? So, that way, if I wouldn't have said stay, what would she have done? We could all see what she was going to do. She would have assumed she was supposed to go with me. Stay. Good girl. Oh, by the way, when I said I want her to turn, as long as her butt stays on the ground, she can't stand up. Now, if she was competing in obedience, she would have lost points for that. Now, I'm going to do another come command, but I'm going to tell her to down after she just takes a couple steps. All I'm doing is just kind of make it, nope, stay, stay. Thought she saw something, maybe, stay. So, also notice I'll stop in a sentence. This is called multitasking. Once again, reminding the dog can't read your mind, so you have to be there. You have to know what they're thinking. Too many people, they rely on the mistake getting out of hand before they react. Come, down. Good girl. Oh my goodness, can I have my leash back? Now, because the leash might cause her to move her foot, I will say stay first. Stay, helping her out. So when you hear trainers say, sit, you should never have to repeat a command, that is a bunch of garbage. If that was true, I would only have to say one thing to my customers and never have to say it again. And we all know that I'm constantly educating, teaching, and reminding my owners what they're doing wrong. Down, down, good girl. Because it's called teaching. If somebody could learn something in one time, besides being Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory, good girl, good girl. It's just not how it works. So when trainers say you should only have to say a command once, the actual rule is you should never repeat a command a dog is disobeying. If they're disobeying, you have to once again either use positives or you have to use no, the verbal, and then repeat the command. In other words, letting them know they're getting corrected. Also, you could physically correct them with a neutral, an assertive, whatever correction. But if they're obeying the command, like the heel command, I'm doing a heel or a left. I don't remember which one Sarah uses with Rosie. I can repeat this as many times as I want. Heel, good girl, heel. I can praise her as much as I want. Now, if she wasn't healing, of course, then I would have to throw the word no. So be aware. Watch the videos I do and watch how quickly I'll throw the word no in. Sit. So I'm going to get in front of her. I'm going to hope it's going to trigger her to make a mistake because I'm not going to say stay this time. No. So by moving without saying no, she was guessing. Should I go lay down? Should I? And notice she guessed the down like I said 2 videos ago. But see how the no stopped her. Now this time I'll say stay. Stay. Good girl. See how much easier it is by helping her out, teaching. You want to get a dog to make a mistake by setting them up through distractions, things like that. You don't want to get a dog to make a mistake by you purposely not giving them a command, thinking they can read your mind. Okay, pet peeve, respect other people. Don't leave your dog's poop out here. This looks like it was a small dog, doesn't matter. Now, if this is a biodegradable bag, just toss it there. I don't know if it's a biodegradable bag, but I've got 6.5 more miles to go. I'm not carrying somebody else's dog poop with me, but at least I'm going to take it off the trail. If you don't have bags, find a stick and just flip it off into the thing. But don't leave your dog's poop in the trail, and do not leave your dog's poop in a bag in the trail. You think, oh, I cleaned up after my dog. Yeah, but then you left the poop bag there. Oh, it's biodegradable. But you still left it in the trail, so when it biodegrades, it's going to be in the trail. Okay, people, you can do better. I'm going to do probably one of the hardest things to do. Nope. With the leash dragging on a dog. Nope. Getting a little excited. She hears people. We're going to drop the leash. Now, the reason this is difficult, no, in other words, I'm not holding the leash anymore, is because it can tangle up in her legs. Actually, she's doing really well. Most dogs would have trouble with that. Good girl. Sit, stay. So that was a quick little test. It was trying to determine whether I'm going to do on leash or leash dragging on my next set. Once we hit about the 1 mile mark, which we're getting very close to, I will do some leash dragging work. Remember, leash dragging just is a safety precaution. It's not actually a transition to off-leash training. It is just safety, just in case if something does go wrong, it's easier to catch her. So I'm going to use this opportunity to use some leash dragging work. So I'm going to drop the leash, which I just did. I have to be aware she could make a mistake at any time. So why I was saying before, you always have to have that word no ready. And you have to be paying attention to your dog, read their dog language, their body language. Sit. I don't know if that came across as a video, but right before I stopped, I went, it wasn't too loud, so I'll do it louder. I did that. See how she snapped her head. Just to make her aware that something was about to change. Sometimes I'll stop on a dime in the initial stages of training. Stay. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Stay. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Oh, the wooshy woosh. Good girl. You're such a good girl. Hello. Just somebody walking by. We know, like I said, she's a little scared of people walking behind her. So we're going to work on her fear because the owners haven't worked on that. I don't think they've ever hiked the dog. I'm using you. Good girl. So this is the first time out of all the people that have come up behind her that she didn't panic. I noticed I did grab the leash up for that simply because it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, I'm going to drop that leash again. Good girl. Stay. Notice I said stay before I decided to move behind her or around her. Good girl. Always praising her, always kissing her. Good girl. Stay. Hand signal. Excellent. Now, this is what I was about to do, but when I saw that person coming, they're actually running, but this is all uphill right now. We're at the 1 mile mark out of the 7 miles. Stay. So I'm going to keep backing up. Stay. But this is in the woods. We're in the middle of a state park. So there's really nothing around besides this one trail that we came up. Nope. Down. Down. Stay. Now, see how quickly I stopped talking. See how quickly I did things. Now, the one thing everybody has to realize, stay, good girl, stay, hi, baby, is I do have to take her back, down, stay, to where she was. Because if I let her move that 1.5, nope, stay, 1.5 feet, she's going to think she can keep doing it, and then she'll end up moving 2 feet, 5 feet. You know the old, give him an inch, stay, take him out. So, you can see she's like, I'm not holding a leash. Stay. There's so many sounds, so many distractions out here. Stay. So she's not quite sure what to do, but this is the introduction. So we'll probably do this 2 or 3 more times before I actually go to the off-leash training, somewhere around the 2 mile mark. Come. Good woody woos, come. Good girl, come. Sit. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And then my favorite, no, I didn't say stay, that's my problem. Good girl, I want you just, you know I want kisses. And I want the belly. I want the whittle rosy belly. Oogie woosh, ready to go? Good girl. So happy there. Now we have some runners coming up behind her. Stay. I'm gonna move her a little bit off the trail. Not be an asshole. Sit. Just gonna move her a little bit off the trail. Stay. She now knows they're coming. Good girl, stay. So before we were having massive amounts of panic when people come up behind her, especially runners. Stay. You can see she's nervous. So I'm using lots of praise. Good girl, good girl. Hello, guys. Good girl. I'm using you just so you know. Good girl, stay. Good girl. So I've exposed her to this. Remember in the very beginning of this lesson, or one of the first videos, I said that she's having major problems, especially, nope, people coming up behind her. Sit. I mean, she was like a fish on the end of a fishing line the first couple times it happened. So that was pretty darn down impressive. Stay. I haven't even moved yet. Just a couple more runners. We're about to do some leash dragging work. Sit. Good girl, stay. But like I said, we really, really, really want to work on this running. I usually do my elite courses on Fridays or weekdays because it's just, I don't like working on weekends myself. Good girl, good girl. Good girl. See how I got her look back at me just with the positive there? Stay. But the key component that we're working on really right now is the fact that she's not freaking out. Good baby. Oh, I thought they were together, but they weren't. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Stay. Good girl. I'm not going to really make it obvious, but we're going to see how she does it right here. Good girl. Good girl.
Morning.
Morning. Morning. Sit. Stay. Good puppy. Stay. Oh, another runner. Geez, like I said, this place is, sit, totally packed right now. Stay. And considering I'm on a 7 mile trail, and the 7 mile trail actually connects with a lot of other smaller trails, until I get deeper in, I mean, every time I want to practice, I literally am trying to practice the leash dragging work right now. but I have to take advantage of runners, and that was the first dog that we actually came across. We're only about 1.5 miles into this, but I want her to have her ready for the off-leash by the 2-mile mark. So I need to do a couple more sit leash draggings. Stay. Oh, you're so pretty. Down. Nope, down. Good girl. Stay. And of course, she's suspicious now because we keep having people come from in front of her, behind her. Stay. Another thing I've noticed is Rosie does not have enough distance work with her. Stay. Stay. She breaks position when I get to a certain distance, no matter how many times. Stay. So I'm just going to say stay a lot more frequently. No, and the word no. No, stay. No, stay, which really does screw up my narration. Stay. Good girl, stay. Stay. No. See how she starts to panic when I'm about 25 feet right now, 20 feet right now. Stay. Good girl, stay. Stay. We're at 25. Good girl, stay. She's worried somebody's going to come up behind her. But you have to. Oh, I took her off leash. Holy fucking shit. Oops, my bad. She's not supposed to be doing it off leash. Come here. Let's get you back on leash. Oh, Sarah's going to be so proud of her. I accidentally did something and she did perfect. Sit. Oh my goodness, Rosie. I wasn't supposed to take you off leash. Oh, I got distracted with all these people running by. Oh my goodness, and you handled it like an angel and a half. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love you so much. I love you so much. Stay work. About 80. Stay 90 feet away. Good girl. Come. Good girl. Good girl. Down. Nope. Down. Good girl. So you noticed? I noticed where her problems are. Oh, come here, baby. Come here. Oh, good. I noticed where her problems and I work on them. So I was just saying she was having trouble with distance. I couldn't get 20, 25 feet away from her. Good girl. Oh, the widow tail. Oh, good girl. I couldn't get away from her, so I practiced it. And I accidentally, oh, she sees people coming. Let's just get out of the way. Let's move off to the side here. Oh, I want some more loving. Oh, yes, you'll see peoples. Oh, gosh, thank you. So we're working on where she needs work. Good girl. But I accidentally did it off leash. But it was a huge confidence boost to her because I gave her so much love. Love is one of the key components. Oh, my goodness. Well, you're making it hard for me to videotape you. Yes, you are. You're making this really hard. Oh, so hard to videotape a dog when they want to just be kissed and loved the whole time. Oh, and she handled the runners really well. Oh, my goodness. Give me more love. Oh, my God. I'm going to grab you and squish you and kiss you. Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, my goodness. Hello. Good girl. Oh, so I really want to spend a little bit of time. Stay. Now, she's not under a sit or a down. Oh, more people coming. Christ. Had to put my glasses back on. Oh, more people running this way. Oh, my goodness. So I want to talk about what just happened because this was all... Morning, how you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. So we knew runners and walkers were a problem. We knew runners and walkers coming behind were a problem. Nope. We knew distance was a problem. But each time I talked about those problems, right afterwards, I worked on those problems. But one of the things, and you hear me say this in lesson after lesson, especially on the advanced course or the basic course, praise your dog more. Don't underestimate the concept of praise. By praising her, she's not being as concerned about people running up behind her, or actually she's not being concerned really much at all, versus how she was nervous. Now, that nervousness is what was triggering her distance problem. Because as I started to go farther and farther away, you'll notice if you go back to those videos, she was looking over her shoulder, she was looking forward, she was looking backwards. She was like, oh my God. Because I was her safety net, and her safety net was getting out of her range. So we worked on that. Now, the mistake I made, and yes, I'm making mistakes too, I did it off leash. I'm not supposed to be doing off leash till the 2-mile mark. And we were at the 1.5 miles. I wanted to do 2 more leash draggings. We had all those people pass. I got distracted. I took her off leash. Totally on me. But she nailed it. Oh my God, she nailed it so well. So then I did some kisses, love, praise, just like you just saw me there, inundating her with love. Nope. See how that no stopped her? We're going up a hill, by the way. Oh, and if I didn't mention, it's only about 74, 75 degrees out right now. Humid. This is thick. Totally thick. I'm like in a soup right now. Good girl. I'm taking advantage of these downed branches. Dogs, if something happens they're not used to, Good girl. Now, that's the first time you saw that the leash dragging was confusing her, but must have been a storm that came through here since I was here with Elora last week. It's a lot of down trees, ground branches. She handled that amazingly. A lot of times, and anybody who owns a dog knows, like if somebody's throwing something out at the curb that's never been there, like a stroller or a baby something, or whatever, it doesn't have to be related to children, dogs freak out. So literally, I'm taking advantage of these branches right now. I'm also, when I accidentally did the off-leash training with Rosie here, and she did so well, massive boost to my confidence. I'm still not going to get stupid. I want to take her off leash in the urban environment or near the freeway. Passing this branch again, excellent. But that's the kind of training has basic rules. Nope, got a little ahead of me. Perfection being the most important one, but you have to kind of roll with it. You got to figure out what, and I said this before like 4 or 5 videos ago, if you see a problem, work on the problem. So we worked on the people running behind her, people coming up behind her, people running, people coming in front of her. We worked on the distance work. Everything I see a problem, we work on. And if I work on it, Rosie gets it. Now, right now, Rosie's not under a command. So you actually saw me doing this with Elora last week. Now, I'm going to be doing this with her off-leash. I was not expecting her to be able to do this off-leash today. But by me accidentally doing off-leash so early and her handling it like a champion. Nope, good girl. Now I'm going to give her a command. Sit. Good girl. A hand signal. Nope. No. Good girl. She's having to lay down on a hill facing downward, so had a little trouble. Hand signal. Good girl. Good girl. Hand signal. Good girl. Hand signal. Good girl. Good girl. You're so angelish. This time I'm walking, taking advantage of the runners instead of having her stay or giving her commands. We're just walking. So we're not actually doing a heel right now or left, depending on what Sarah uses with Rosie. But by not comforting her, I'm going to see how all the comforting I gave her with people coming behind her before, just getting a little ahead of me, how that's going to handle these runners that are catching up to us. You can probably hear them, but I'm not going to point a video camera at them. Good girl, good girl. Boy, they're slow runners. Nope, good girl, good girl. She looked back that one time. Good girl, good girl. She's not panicking though, and that's huge. Good girl, good girl. Oh, they stopped running. They're walking now. Waste of a film. This might be the last leash dragging I'm going to do before I try off leash. Stay, good girl, stay. But now I'm doing the leash dragging with those people. Stay, down. Good girl, stop on a dime. So important to remember. This is only her 5th lesson. So important to remember when you have a dog that they're going to get distracted. They're going to make mistakes. She saw those people. Stay. So her mind wasn't completely focused on me. So to keep her focused on me, no, good girl, stay, good girl, stay. So you notice I'm intermitting her praise, but with the stay command or the no command. Stay, good girl, stay, because I know the good girl, stay, could trigger her, and I'm also backing up from her. Stay, good girl, heel. Good girl. Can you catch up to me? Can you catch up to my left side? Good girl. Oh, good girl. Oh, my goodness. Down. Down. Nope. Down. Good girl. Heel. Down. Oh, much better. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Notice I don't keep doing the down because then she might get triggered into thinking I'm always going to do the down there. Okay. Next time I do a video, it'll be off leash. So we have just hit the 2-mile mark. Good girl. And this is where I usually start a dog's off-leash training. But I started down there. Everybody knows I call that a bowl because literally it goes down on all directions, making it much safer to take a dog off-leash there than anywhere else. But down, down, down. Good girl. Stay. She nailed my accidental off-leash training. Sit. Gido woogie woosh. Come on, heel. And so I'm actually doing it early. Sit. But I'm staying close to her. Now there is a person coming. And this is I'm not going to risk her off leash with a person yet, so I will put her on. Remember, this is only her 5th visit. But I did that more for Sarah because we were talking before when she dropped the dog off, because obviously I always tell everybody when they drop a dog off on their 5th lesson and that I'm going to be doing it off leash in the Kettle Moraine State Park. Their first reaction is, are you going to be able to trust her? And I said, if I don't trust her, I won't do it. I never am going to risk a dog. But and then I told her how Laura, the dog I had last week, that was so far ahead of schedule that I was able to take her off leash before I was supposed to, and I didn't need to use the bowls. And I was positive. Sit. Rosie was not going to fall into that category today. Good girl. I just let that person walk past. That's all. Good girl. Come on. Now, this is a come on command, which means she has a little bit more freedom. I want to see, so I'm teaching her a 5 to 6 foot range. Now, as she gets better and better trained, like Pizzazz has about a 50 foot range, but Pizzazz started, now see, so she started to get past around that 5 foot. I used positive to get her back, so she's not technically under command right now, but I want to teach her even when she's not under a command, she still has to stay within a range. So this is very advanced stuff because this mimics real life. This is the second bowl I would have used right here. So Sarah, I've got your dog ahead of schedule now. Good girl. Good. Get the woochies. Oh, come on. I want kisses, Woody. Good girl. Good girl. So this would kind of mimic taking a hike or being out with your dog at a park or something. The control, the confidence. So once again, I'm not giving her a command yet. I'm going to in a little bit. Because right now I'm working on that 5 to 6 foot range. And by every time she gets to that 5 foot, I either call her back with a, which I didn't need to do there, or the word no. By doing that repetitively and consistently, and every time, not most of the time, but every time, because Sarah and I had that conversation that training is not supposed to be most of the time, because it only takes one car to kill a dog. But if I do that all the time, she'll start to self-correct herself, and then I can start increasing the distances. So right now, she's allowed to sniff, she's allowed to get a little ahead of me, but she can't get past the 5 to 6 foot range. She hasn't even tried it, even after just those 5 or 6 little reminder corrections I gave her with the or the no, she's already doing excellent. So now I'm going to actually throw a command at her because we just walked a whole bunch without any commands. I'm going to go the other way. You got to pay attention. So I kind of switched it up on her. That would be a perfect example of making the dog focus on you. Down, down, nope, down, stay, good girl. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Sit, good girl, down, good girl, good girl. You're so good. Stay. Stay, good girl, stay, good girl, stay, good girl, good, come, good girl, good girl, good girl, sit, oh my goodness, I'm gonna put you back on a leash because it's a little stressful for me because this is not my dog, sit, I didn't tell you to stay, no, sit, it's not my dog, stay, hate trying to do this with one hand, it's not my dog, and I am doing, this is I've never lost a dog. I've never had a dog get injured during my training. But there is some stress involved. I mean, look, we're in the middle of frickin' nowhere. And now she was off leash. So if she would have taken off, that leash doesn't have a branch, a tree, or anything to tangle up on. When that leash is dragging, it's a lot safer. Now, of course, eventually everybody wants to get the dog to the point what Rosie just did there, or Laura did. I would rather have it me training the dog than the owner try to get there themselves, because I mean, I've trained 15,000 dogs. I've been doing this for 38 years. I kind of know what to do in any case. But I need to get her back on a leash right now because that's a little bit stressful. But we're going to get a whole bunch of off-leash training. See where that bench is up there? Now, that is part of the trail, but this part of the trail actually hooks to the left. It comes right back to the main trail, which keeps going straight. It has no purpose besides to put some more distance, some more miles into your trail. Not miles, but but it will hook back in. But nobody ever uses. I shouldn't say nobody. Last time I said nobody uses this trail, like 5 people went past me. But this is a great trail for off-leash training, even though I just did off-leash with her on the main trail, and we did have people. So, but this is one of the safer places to do it because once we get deeper into here. We're pretty, and I can always hear people coming. So it's not like I'm not listening, I'm not paying attention, which is I'm always telling people, you have to be aware of the surroundings. Your dog has less than 35 IQ points. Dogs don't read minds. Dogs have instincts. But if, like right now, I'm going to show you using the word no, how it works. No. By using the word no, it's the equivalent of me physically correcting her. But my favorite way to do the same thing would be to do this. Good girl. Both the no and the basically are similar. One is more of a exclamation point, while the other one more is just a normal. But both of them are designed that the dog must pay back attention to you. So it's being used not because she did anything wrong, but I just wanted her to look back at me. Now, remember, a dog that's looking at you is not looking at everything else. Whew. Another hill, by the way. So we are now deep in that spin-off trail. We're about 2.5 miles out of our 7. Everybody knows, that I get most of the training done in the first like 3 miles. And then I'm usually so far behind schedule that I have to hoof it to make sure that I can get, so we literally probably, I have no clue what time it is. Let me see if I can check on this thing. My bad, I accidentally pushed the wrong button. Okay, so we have about 2 more hours to get, 2 more hours to get the next, oh, sit, good girl, stay, good girl, stay. Remember how I said nobody uses this trail? But once again, off leash. I didn't hear him coming because I was obviously talking to the camera. A runner behind her, off leash. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just got to kiss her, but I wanted to finish talking. So, the majority of her training is getting done in these first 2.5, 3 hours, but then the last couple hours, it's going to be mostly me just doing this where I'm not actually training, or I shouldn't say training her, I'm always training her, just, especially when a runner goes by that I'm not expecting, but I'm trying to apply training to what's called application training, meaning mimic more of what we're looking for in real life. Now, once I get around this next turn, though, I am going to throw some obedience commands in. Obedience commands at this point for Rosie are to keep her honest, and obedience commands at this point are to help train Sarah so that Sarah gets better and better at this. Because the practice, it's just practice. It really was practice. Now we're going downhill. Good girl. Watch another runner come. I just said like nobody uses this trail. And then I said last time I said that, I had like 5 people. Well, literally that was the first person. And he was a runner and he was coming in behind her. Oh my goodness. It was like the worst possible situation. If you would have had a dog, it would have made it even worse. And what did Rosie do? She nailed it. She nailed it. Good girl. So what I wanted to do, first I want to get down from going down this hill with all these rocks because I don't want to twist an ankle. But what I'm going to do now is speed training, which will be the last half of this lesson. A lot of speed training. There'll be less and less videos as we progress now because literally we're nailing every aspect. So once I get to the bottom of this hill right there, then I can start running and stopping, changing directions. This is all about getting her to pay more attention and be ready for a command. You ready, Rosie? Ready for this? Good girl. Change directions. Change directions. Oh my goodness. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Sit. Oh my goodness. Come on. Good girl. Another big hill coming up. Good. Whoosh. Nope. Good girl. And sit. Nope. Sit. See how that nose is always ready? I want to grab your nose. I want to grab that nose. You're such a mean dog. Good girl. She's doing so well. Sarah is going to love these videos. Came up that hill. I know I'm a pussy. Right, baby? Considering I hike the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains, but boy, you lose your mountain legs quick when you're not living in the mountains. And I am old, 56. Okay, some of you saying that's not that old, and I understand that's not that old. But trust me, my body ain't a 20, 30-year-old anymore. It feels it. Good girl. Remember, she's not under command right now. We are getting close to the end of this little part of the trail that kind of nobody uses. Besides, when I say nobody uses it, then people use it. So I want to be able to do the same thing I'm doing right now on the main trails. Good girl. Oh, do you see that self-correction? Good girl. Now, she sped up because we were going down a hill, but doesn't change the fact. She self-corrected her right around the 6 foot, maybe 8 foot mark. But I didn't correct her at the 6 foot because I'm getting more and more confidence with her as we go. Didn't even tell her I was going to stop. She stopped. Perfect. When you get a dog to the point, what did I do to you? That awareness. You want the dog to do what's called checking in. I like my dogs to check in if we're in an urban environment every 5 to 10 seconds. In a rural environment like this, more every 20 to 30 seconds. Now look at her sticking by my legs because I changed it on her a couple times. So now she knows what I'm up to. Good girl. So finding things we can work on, but being safe. Down. Stay. Good girl, stay. Not including that one time I took her off leash early because I had a brain fart. But she did excellent. Good girl. Perfect. Oh my goodness. Good girl. Good girl. So I think, yep, at the top of this hill is when we join the main trail again. So in just a little bit, I'm going to put her back on leash because I don't know, because that's goes left and right. So there could be traffic coming from either side. There's been a lot of people out here today. Then we're probably going to get ourselves some more training. Don't know how much video I'm going to be doing from this point forward. At about the 3 mile mark. And from 3.5 to about 5.5, I'm going to have to huff it. Which means we're going to be doing very little videotaping. Unless I'm doing the speed training you just saw me do. Because we got places to go. And we got to get this done. And right now, we're not quite to the 3 mile mark. Which means we have over 4 miles to still go. And we have less than 2 hours. Which isn't intimidating. Besides, each time I stop and train her. Good girl, come. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, you are. She didn't have to sit. I didn't tell her to sit. Good girl. So I'm going to put her on a leash now. Good girl, come. Good girl, good girl. Sit. Good girl. Kisses. Oh, you kisses. Oh, kiss my hand. You're kissing all the sweat off of me. Good girl. So this is where the trail joins back. So it goes to the right. It goes to the left. And it gets even worse. Because right here, just 15 feet later, the Alpine, or the Ice Age Trail goes right through it, left and right. And just like I suspected, we're going to start to get a little traffic. Sit. Nope, sit. Good girl, stay. Runner coming up from behind her. Good girl, loose leash. She handled it perfectly. That's what we're looking for. But that's why I didn't come up here that last set with her off leash. Because I expected at an intersection where it goes here, there, where there was like 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways that trail could go after we came out of our trail. I knew there's going to be somebody somewhere. So we are just entering the part of this trail. See, the black trail is the longest trail of all. The black trail intersects with the blue trail, the green trail, the white trail, the yellow trail, all these shorter trails. So this is where we're going to have the most short distance hikers, people walking dogs. There we go. See, yeah, I said we're going to have the most runners, people walking dog stuff in this area. So this is actually a key area where I will keep her on leash. Because once again, remember, this is only her 5th lesson. She's maybe 7, 8 months old now, so she's still a puppy. Young adult, actually. But most people don't even start training their dog till it's six months old. And she's already doing off leash in a state woods with runners and with critters and with all these wonderful things. So up there, see that sign right past her? Once again, that's another place where the trails intersect. That's twice now. When I was talking, I accidentally pushed a button. So I have to splice some videos together. In the end, I splice all these together, post them on YouTube so that you can see one fluent dog training video. But definitely during this series, because this is only her 5th lesson, I don't care how well she's doing for me, how perfect she's been for me, I am not going to sit. And also it's a respect for everybody else. Oh, 2 more people coming. They don't know that she's a friendly little pupper. They might have been attacked by a dog. I don't know the backstories of everybody else that's going to be out here. So it's out of respect to them having her on leash. So you notice I try to only take her off leash when I know I'm not going to put somebody anxiety, another person's anxiety or whatever. But of course, the problem with me videotaping is I'm talking, so sometimes I don't hear the people because I usually rely on my ears from people coming from behind me. Now what's really odd, there we got people coming this way, is usually everybody walks these trails clockwise, like these 2 ladies here. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Let's just get past them, and then I'll finish what I'm saying here. Okay, perfect, didn't even look. Excellent, good girl. I'm one of the only people who goes counterclockwise. It's like everybody's going counterclockwise today. Those 2 women went, but I'd say 90% of the people we've passed today have been going counterclockwise, which is against the way they usually do it. Good baby, good puppers, loud people. Good girl, good girl, good girl. We'll take advantage of this, obviously. Good girl, good girl. So she would have freaked out 2.5 hours ago. Exposure. And Sarah, in fact, Sarah, when she dropped Rosie off today, she's saying she took a day off to just train, and she said it was a great day. Repetition is part of training. You don't just buy, with a dog, you get a puppy and it's fully trained. You have to put the hours in. Now, obviously, some people speed up the process by paying me to put a lot of the hours in for them, but not only am I, for every hour I put into a dog, it's probably like 3 months of somebody who hasn't trained 15,000 dogs putting in the hours, which is why I can excel a dog to listening off leash in areas like this, but in 5 lessons. Good girl. I'm so happy with you. I keep saying I'm not going to videotape anymore, or not do any more videotapes, and I'm not even to the 3 mile mark. I'm closing in on it, but once I hit the 3 mile mark, because of videotaping and because of stomping and walking slower and doing the commands, I'm going to be having to literally jog for about 3 miles, which means you get a jog for 3 miles. So let me try not to turn this videotape on again until we take our water break. Oh, wait, there's another person coming. Oh, should I videotape that, or have we done enough videotapes of her handling people that I don't have to prove anything anymore? Or, well, I'll still test her, but I'll just turn the video off. Okay, so I'm actually taking advantage of those walkers up there because we're behind them. They're actually runners, but taking a little bit of break. Because Rosie, good girl, is an incredibly friendly dog. She loves people. She loves to be played with. She loves to sass and horse around. She's a yellow lab, for Christ's sake. And so by making us follow them, she really wants to get up there with them. Nope. So I'm doing it off leash. She's proven to me time and time again on this lesson that I can control her and trust her. So we actually are still in that main area where all the trails, like right there, that you see those people over there, that's one of the smaller trails, but it connects right up over there. See what's coming over this hill, see if anything. Nope, nobody's coming this way. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people up there. I'm not going to risk that because I think they have a dog too. Good girl, good girl. Sit. I mean, I probably could risk it. She's passed every other test, but let's not get stupid. So we're going to go up this hill on leash. Now, I'd actually want to go up this hill off leash, but there's a very simple reason why I'm not. And it's not just because, obviously, the main reason, obviously, is this is only her 5th lesson. But whenever you get into a hill or a big turn, you don't know what's coming the other way. Now, I have, I've come across grizzly bear, I've come across elk, I've come across black bear, not obviously here, but during my travels with Lily and Pizzazz, especially Lily, you could have other people coming this way. Like we got people coming up from behind us right now. Actually was listening. Figures I'm listening when she's on leash, not listening when she's off leash. They took the weenie trail. They avoided this big hill. But by not knowing what's on the top of these hills, having a dog that's for her very first lesson off leash in the state park, so her 5th lesson, but the very first one I've taken her off leash. It's better to play it safe than sorry. And that basically proves my point. Hello. Didn't I just pass you?
What?
You must be doing a little loop.
I just started on a big loop.
Yeah, this is the big loop, but we passed you before on the little loop. Okay, so now I can see what's here. And I can see, just get past this brush a little bit more. And I can see, there are more people coming. So I'll just keep her on leash. Simply because I'm getting tired. Now, this right here, this bench is about the 3 mile mark. So this is going to be her water break. I was going to do it off leash. But like I said, Saturdays are, and they have a dog. Saturdays are much more difficult than any other day. Good girl. Hi. Oh, good girl. Hello. Hi, stay. Good girl, stay. Good girl, stay. Okay, so you remember Rosie's, nope. Good girl, down. Down. Good girl. Rosie's the last lesson with me. Nope. Good girl. I said she's great with, she was having a little trouble with dogs. No. She wants to sniff so bad. And I don't mind sniffing. No. Right now I'm flexing on her. I'm really, no. There we go, no. Okay, now you can sniff. Flexing meaning I am establishing my dominance without actually having to be physical or dominant. You can't do that with an untrained dog. You have to have a trained dog first. But really, this is her water break. Ugh. So I'm just getting everything ready. She gets the water before I get the water. That's the rule. Good girl. Let's put that down for just a second. Oh, open this up for her. Ugh, there's no water in it yet, baby. We're getting there. We're getting there. Got another runner. Every time I reach to take her off leash, we're just getting so much activity out here. And I know what? I know she's already proven she can do it with all the activity. But like I said, I'm tired. I don't feel like chasing her. She hasn't done nothing. I'm not even holding on to the leash right now. She's done nothing to me that'll prove, hello, that I would have to chase her. But there we go. A little bit of a water break. You can drink it out of the bowl. Did you just lick my hand? Did you just lick my hand? Good girl. Good girl. Do you want some more water? Good girl. Water break. Hi. Are you a happy pupper? Come here. Come here. Oh my goodness. We're not just getting a water break. We're getting a kissy lovey break. Good girl. Good girl. So we've got about 4 more miles. Let's see, we're about the 3-mile mark. So we got 4 more miles to go. Good girl, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, 3 doggies. Good girl. Let's see how she does with 3 doggies. Good girl. Keep up with me. Good girl. Hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not bad. Good girl. Good girl. Excellent. We've had a lot of runners and walkers, but we haven't had as many opportunities with dogs as we did like when we did it at the lakefront. And she's handling the dogs really well. So we have about 3 more miles to go, but we've got about an hour, a little over an hour to do it, which means we'll have to do about a 20-minute pace, which everybody knows. This can be a relatively quick hiking pace, but if I throw a couple of speed trainings in there and stuff like that, we will have absolutely no trouble doing it. I love flowers. Henceforth, her and I are taking a little jaunt through the flowers, sharing them with all of you, even though this is a dog training video. So right there, that's perfect. Nope, slowed her down, and we're just enjoying the flowers. Good girl. Good girl. Whenever I see a more unique color, I will kind of check it out. Oh, let's go this way. Let's go this way. There you go. Oh, little butterfly. It's called the butterfly garden. And there's a butterfly. Good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. I'm talking about you. You're a good girl, too. You're a little butterfly if you're a girly butterfly. Otherwise, you're a good boy. So I'm kind of letting you enjoy these flowers. I'm enjoying them because I love flowers. Sometimes I don't plant vegetables in my garden. I just plant wildflowers. Give the bees a home. Yes. There we go. Ooh, some nice yellow ones, some nice purple ones. Ooh, I like those orange ones up there. We're going to get to those orange ones. Oh, yes. In the autumn, I love the oranges and auburns and reds, especially the brighter ones. Those are my favorite autumn colors. Oh, let's go this way. There's a big tin butterfly. I just kind of loop around here. It's starting to get crowded in here, so we are going to leave and get back to training. Taking advantage of the runner, taking advantage of the people with the dog. Let's see how she handles this. Good girl. Good girl. Just go a little bit faster than them. Good girl. He did so well. I don't know why his phone is being so sensitive and turning off. I'm trying not to let any part of my hand touch it. But don't worry about them. Good girl. She went past that dog, and as you can see, that dog wasn't as well trained, so it was kind of pulling all over the place. She's getting better. The more exposure she gets, the better she gets. And that's one of the first things I tell my customers before they even hand me money. The most important thing to training a dog is exposure. Exposure, exposure, exposure. Introduce them to new living creatures, as long as the creatures don't attack them, so you have to be careful that way. Introduce your dog to a violent dog, and you're going to get your dog traumatized. Go to new places, and if you see something they've never seen before, remember those fallen trees and branches we passed earlier? You introduce them to new things. Things, places, living creatures. Okay. So like I said, we're going to do some speed training, because we got a lot of distance we have to make up in an incredibly short amount of time. Good girl, good girl. So remember, she's not under command right now until I give a command. What she has to do is just stay near me, stuff like that. Good girl. Good girl, good girl. Down. Down. Nope, down. Now she's under a command. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Come on. Good girl, good girl. We got lots of distance to go. I'm going to do a change of direction on her this time. Good girl, good girl. Oh, you're paying so much attention now. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Oh, you're such a sweetie. Oh, put you back on leash. This will be our last speed training. We're catching up to where we need to be. We're down to our last couple miles. Good girl, good girl. Come on. Her speed training is slowing down too. Good girl, good girl. Heel. Nope. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. No. Sit. Come on. Good girl, good girl. I'm going to change directions on her this time if I can get her to go past me. But she's getting tired too. Nah, she's too tired. We're done with the speed training. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Such a good girl. Just had a runner go by. This is our last water break. You want some water? Good girl. Or actually, I should say her last water break. Good girl. Ugh. It's one of my favorite places to do a water break here, because I can literally see anybody coming from either direction. So it's one of the safer places I like when I have a dog off leash. See, like right there, they're doing the Ice Age Trail. That's a trail that goes. So once again, I accidentally pushed a button, but they're doing the Ice Age Trail, so they're doing a crisscross there. But like I said, I like this area because it's a good area for me to see both directions. So nothing's going to come up on me when she's off leash. Totally off command, obviously. Good girl. Are we done? Okay, so we are on our very last mile, and we've got about 25-30 minutes to do it. So we're actually caught up with all that speed training and stuff like that. So what we're doing now, no, we're not giving her any commands at all. We are literally just going for a walk, going for a hike. And the reason we're doing this is because this is what she needs to learn to do. She needs to be able to be trustworthy off leash. Now, just the fact that this is only her 5th lesson, and just because I'm hiking with her right now off leash and she's doing phenomenal, doesn't mean I'm giving her owners the go ahead to do this. I've trained 15,000 dogs. I've been doing it for 38 years. I know what I'm doing. But this is kind of the nice thing about having a dog that listens off leash is, you know, if they get off leash, you can control them. Good girl. So we are winding down to the last, probably just over a quarter of a mile. Once we get past that turn, we are literally going to be visually, we'll be able to look over a field and see the parking lot where the Jeep is parked. So I'll be putting her back on leash. She's doing incredibly well. Remember, she's not even under a command right now. Let's see. Nobody coming from behind us. We're both tired. She is going to probably fall asleep in the Jeep. And then definitely sleep the rest of the day at her owner's house. And I'm going to get home, shower. The humidity it's actually really nice out. It's only like, even now we're going in the late morning, and it's still only up to maybe 73, 74 degrees out here. So it's actually really beautiful out here. But the humidity, I am soaked, sweaty. Good baby. So, okay, maybe I was wrong. Not quite this turn. I mean, you can see the field. It's one more turn we'd have to do to see the parking lot. I mean, you can see the field up there. So maybe it was more than a quarter of a mile, because then we have to go around the field, which will be that way and all the way around. But I am about to put her back on leash because she has proven everything I needed her to prove to me and more, starting with me accidentally taking her off leash when I wasn't supposed to, and her listening perfectly under those conditions. Remember, you have yet to hear me say one command. I haven't even done the or the nose to her in this particular last 45 seconds of videos. She is literally just, she knows what's expected of her. And as I said on the last video, just before this one, I'm not giving the green light for her owner to treat her as if she's as well trained as Pizzazz. But it should give her the confidence that if the dog was accidentally to get off leash, now she's going. Now the reason she sped up here is because we were actually going down a hill. We're going down a hill right now, and so momentum. Her lack of muscle control, just like me, she's just letting gravity do all of its work. So this is the field I was talking about. So we have to go all the way around this field. The parking lot is off to the left, which, as long as I got the video going, good papush, as long as I got the video going, I'll show you. I'm actually surprised we didn't come across any people in this area, because we're literally to the parking lot, which means there's a lot of different trails that connect right into this area, but the parking lot's way over there. So we'll go all the way around this field. So I am going to put her on a leash, right, girl? Good girl, sit. So perfect. Are you the perfect? Hi. Okay. There's the Jeep. Now, last week I actually walked Allura through this parking lot completely off leash. However, no, last week there were 5 cars, maybe 3 people. You saw that guy just pulling in. You know what? She's had a great lesson. Let's not end it with me doing something stupid. A guy over there with a dog. So we are done. She'll probably fall asleep in the Jeep, right, baby girl? I'm tired. Hopefully I won't fall asleep in the Jeep, since I'm the one driving. Inside. Good girl. Oh, throw that leash in. And we're good to go. I love you, baby. Good girl.